Hello, my name is Peter. I run the Inwards and Upwards show. I run the Bright Beings Academy, and we're here today to talk all about holistic healing. As you know, I am a great fan of holistic healing, which is why I became a Dharma master and a Ki Gong instructor, because I believe the body is so powerful. And guess what? Many people will actually not agree with you with that. So we're actually here to change the tide. We're trying to get more people to get into their bodies, understand how powerful the body is. And I met Amanda a couple of weeks ago on LinkedIn. She actually commented on one of my posts and we started the discussion. I thought, wow, you got into some interesting stuff with holistic health. So I wanted to introduce Amanda to the group today. So welcome, Amanda. How are you doing?
Hi. All right. Thank you. Thank you for having me here. Thank you. Thanks, Peter.
Our pleasure. Our pleasure. So you're into holistic health. What made you start on your journey? What was the trigger to get you into that? I know it's a big question.
Gosh, having a child. I think the basic line, having a child and realizing I had to give her the best starting life from birth, and just carried it forward and just got into it so much and studied it. But I've always been on the different side, if you're talking about energies here. So I knew, I think everybody knows that if they eat too much of the bad food, it's going to have a negative effect on your body and your mind. And I just went down the rabbit hole a bit further than most people, that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there a big trigger for that, or was just literally
It's just having my child. I've always been quite healthy, actually, most of my life, but we were brought up with eating meat and 2 veg, and that was quite normal. But we had that, whatever you had at school, you still came home and that's what we were given. It was always fresh food. My mum was an excellent cook, so it kind of did help. I'm not quite as good as she is, but I tried to emanate a few dishes, but not quite touching the surface with her. Yeah, so it's just eating good food. That's what it's all about. I don't preach for diets. I don't preach to anybody, actually. I think deep down everybody knows good and bad food. I think they know what's good for them and what's bad for them. I think deep down everybody knows.
Yeah, I think you're definitely right. And I'm getting seriously concerned about the depreciation of all the minerals and natural goodness in vegetables now, especially in today's monoculture of farming, and the depreciation of the soil, because our soil, the gut biome in our soil is the same as the gut biome in our gut. And when the gut biome in the soil goes down, then the vegetables depreciate and then our gut depreciates. So it's a mind-body connection that really does suffer. And it's really looking into bad food. I remember because I'm a vegan now, but I was so conditioned to eat meat. I remember that when I was a very young boy, I didn't want to eat it. And my mother said, you eat the ham sandwich, then you get the jam sandwich, as it were. So I kind of a natural vegetarian. I kind of shied away from it straight away, but I did get into eating meat, and then I got into eating meat big time. And I remember trying to give it up and just to become a vegetarian. My mindset was so stuck on you have to have your meat and your 2 veg, your meat and your 2 veg. That's what we've kind of grown up on. And then I realized that there's a plethora of food that you can actually get involved with, that many different colors of it is actually has different energies to it. So like purples and blues are for like your upper chakras, and your greens are for like your heart chakra, and the reds and the oranges are for your lower chakras. It all has energy content to it, which I find fascinating. And energy is everywhere. And I understand you're into the flower remedies. Yeah, you're into flower remedies.
I touched on Australian bush flower remedies. A good friend of mine who also works with that energy side, she got me onto it to actually conceive my child, because I was later on in life, I had my child. And she helped me conceive through changing my hormones that were stuck at the time. And so that got me on that path also of looking at other ways to treat illnesses and ailments, or to help your body just switch that switch back on. That's all it took, is just to switch that switch back on that had been turned off for too long.
Okay, what was the flower remedy then you used?
I think it was she oak. It was a mixture, because she had to mix. Sometimes you have to mix 3 or 4, depending on, because the questions asked aren't just, are your hormones erratic? How are you feeling? It's to do with mood, skin color, all sorts. So you tend to bind about 3 together, so not one fits all.
No, I find the flower remedies absolutely astounding. How because I trained in the bark flower remedies, and I found it astounding that he could walk into a field and knew that the vibrational essence of that plant would actually do that kind of healing in the body.
No, it's fascinating. It's the vibration. It's not, you're not juicing a leaf, or it's the vibration. It's incredible. Absolutely. It actually blows your mind when somebody says, actually, that's a vibration. And you think, how on earth does that work? But it does. It works into the vibration of your cells, and it just works. It's amazing. I swear by tissue salts are another one of my passions. They're also vibration. So they work on the cellular level, on the vibration, and they are amazing. You walk into my kitchen, I have a box of them in front of me, and every day I pick out, I give them to my daughter. Depends on how she's feeling, what she's going through. It could be hormones, stress, anxiety. There's something for everything. I mean, there's 12 different types of tissue salts, and they are linked to every single cell in your body related to your liver, your kidneys, your heart, the blood, the nervous system. And just like you can't live without salt, as in, I'd say Himalayan salt, I would never say table salt. You can't live without the salts in the foods. Again, you cannot live within another 11 salts that your body needs, that people aren't aware of, that your liver and kidneys need to work properly. So generally speaking, I find that if you're lacking in your tissue salts in one particular place, that will have an effect on your bones, your skin, depression. So it works on every single level. So when somebody comes to me, I will ask every single question of how they're feeling, how long it's been going on, do they have achy bones, are the teeth okay, goes through everything, how their eyes look. It goes through everything. So then you always narrow it down, but you sometimes have to take about 3 at the same time, but 3 is the maximum to take. Okay. And they work on the cellular level. They are amazing. And they work really quickly. You don't have to wait a month, because on the first day you literally overdose with them, until your body goes, oh, okay, I'm switching back on. I get it. I know what you're doing now. And then it roller coasts down to 3 days, 3 times a day for about 2 weeks, and then you should be absolutely fine after that.
So what do they do? They just replace the salts in the body, do they, or what do they?
Yes, they do. So say you're very tired, you've got fatigue, stress. I mean, Ferrofos, Ferrofos, it's spelt Ferrphos. Ferrofos is like the alternative if you were to go to the doctor and the doctor said, oh, you're really lacking in iron. But instead of taking those iron tablets, which aren't brilliant and can be a bit heavy on your liver, you take Ferrofos, and that will do exactly the same, if not better, than your iron tablets that you've been prescribed. So that's the alternative. So there's always an alternative, and that's the alternative when you're feeling tired. Always say Ferrofos. you're not feeling very well, you're tired, you're exhausted, fatigue, that's the one to take.
I think there's a lot of that about in today's crazy world we live in.
Yeah,
People looking to go, what is going on? So I'm sure that's a really good advice for anybody who is feeling tired. That's a really, really. What else? What other salts have different attributes to it? Just a couple of other salts. Could you go through that?
Like for me personally, I take Magphos or Natphos. Actually, Magphos good for sleeping, so insomnia. Hormones, I've got my daughter on hormones. She's at that age at the moment. She's coming into her teens. So Natphos is very good for hormones balance. Yeah, I mean, there's 12 of them, but the list is probably too long to list, as in I could say Magphos is good for hormones, but it also, or Caliphos is good for hormones, but the list for what it does could be 20 ailments. So it doesn't just work on one particular area like hormones. It'll work on everything associated with that area. So Calimur is for nerves, the nervous system, but that works on a massive degree. That's your nervous system, that is sleeping also. Could be aches and pains, but with nerve aches and pains. Yeah, so it's a huge range that it would be associated with, not just one thing, like ears. So if somebody's got tinnitus, Calimur again, and nerves again. Yeah, so it's huge, absolutely huge. But if somebody comes to me, you have to delve a bit deeper. So you can't just skim the surface with it. You have to delve a bit deeper.
It's like with the Bach flower remedies. Everybody's go-to remedy is the rescue remedy, which is about 5 of the major remedies together. But to actually get a proper diagnosis of what I used to do, you make your little potions with your flower remedies and give it to the people who come to you, the clients, and they would come back a week later after drinking it for a week out of water, simple putting drops into water, go, yeah, I feel different. I said, well, yes, it's a vibrational energy because everything is vibration.
Yeah,
but it also comes in to the physical level. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, sorry to cut you in there. I was reading, it was months ago, and talking about the vibration. Water holds memory, so water has a memory. So clever. So you can literally, I know you've just taken those 7 drops and you're putting those 7 drops concentrate into water, and you think, how does that from that bottle stay the same if I put it diluted into another bottle? People ask all the time, but this water has memory. It's so clever that they could take it down seven ways, and that one drop will still contain the same memory of the larger bottle to start with. It's incredible. So, sorry, get back to that.
No, I remember water is, talk about that all night, because water, Dr. Emoto's research on that which is what I love about Ki Gong, is your intention. And every class, Ricky and Sylvia know it's okay. Use your intention well. Keep using your intention. Intend to do this. I intend to bring the energy into the center of my body, because you can go, yeah, I intend. But intention really does work, because we are 70 to 80% water. And Dr. Emoto's research was showing when you were literally give water a blessing, like I love you, I love you, I love you, it will make these beautiful crystals. But if you played it some really dirgy heavy metal music with I hate you, with that sort of Cannibal Corpse type singing, it would turn into this distorted mess. And he was showing how you could put water in front of Tibetan monks, and it would be all distorted and horrible and murky, and they would literally chant and do incantations over the water, and it would change the water into purified water, again into crystalline. So and also now there's neuroscientists talking about the body and where is the subconscious mind, i.e. the mind that we go into autopilot all the time with. And it's in your nervous. Funny you're saying about your nervous system. They're saying now it's in your nervous system, which is connected obviously to all your internal organs. So the traditional Chinese medicine approach to holistic health, which is what you've been talking about with the salts, is so spot on the money, because what happened with me with my liver when I was going over to Korea, and we won the Ki Gong competition over there. We went into a meditation cave, and it was about childhood wounds, which I had such a traumatic past that I was going through all these childhood wounds that I'd spoken about and worked on and healed. And then I found one which was about my brothers taking my father's estate, and I found that I was so numb at that time, emotionally numb. It didn't really register that they'd taken houses out of the estate and set up careers. And I put my hand on my heart and forgive them straight away. And all of a sudden, I walked out of the cave, and my mentor at the time, Hope, she said, "Peter, what's happened to you?" He said, "You've taken 10 years off your face." And I explained the story. And it was really funny because I couldn't really drink that heavily as I used to before either, because I was obviously in a numb state, and I was drowning this anger inside of me, because I could, especially when it comes to the world as it is now and the injustice in the world, I used to spark off anything that came up about politics or the geopolitical world. You'd get me into like, rah, rah, rah. Better now, but I'm still angry about it. But I can control that anger because I've released it out of my liver. It was stuck in my liver. So I get what you're saying about water. It's so important for us to realize that we are water, and it's electrical as well. So which is a fantastic transmitter of energy, and energy is everything. We come from energy. So we're created out of the field, which is incredible. So looking after our energetic body, and also which will heal the blueprint of our physical body, but putting these minerals and salts into our body is really important because it keeps us healthy. So coming on to energy, you are also a Reiki practitioner, I take it.
Yes, Reiki and bars. Not many people understand bars. It's BARRS. That the way I explain that is you have points on your head, just like you have points on your feet, like a reflexologist. So I work on those points around your head and the base of your skull to relieve emotional ties, past, present, and future, and just to work on the subconscious. And then I go into the Reiki. I just prefer to do it like that because I think I'm just getting the mind and body together, if you like. But that's just me. That's just the way I like to do my healing.
Yeah. Bars. What made you get into that then? How did you discover that?
So
I've heard of it, but I don't think anybody else has.
No.
So if you could explain where it came from and just a little bit deeper into it.
In all honesty, I have no idea where it came from. No, I do. It's an American man, and not so long ago, literally in the I think 1990s. It's very new. It is very new. So if you look up bars practitioner, it's very new. And so I went with a friend who was a Reiki healer and a spiritualist healer in the church I was going to learn. And we said, "Oh, should we give it a go?" We said, "Well, yeah, why not?" And found that it was really relaxing on a different level because it worked around the head area. It worked on quite a different level. And you didn't always feel, when you do Reiki, sometimes you feel the energy moving around your body, but with the head, it was more of a mind. It shifts things around in your minds a bit more. So you do think differently. So but you're not always conscious of it. So the bars is completely working in the background as subconscious. So that's, but it is relatively new. Not everybody understands what I'm working on, but it's like, so I'm saying it's like your feet. So there's points on your feet if you were having reflexology. You don't know it's doing something until it does. So you go home and maybe 2 weeks later, you're like, oh, that's, oh, I feel better at it, or something's, you know, changed in you. And that's how bars will work.
Yeah.
So I work from the head down to the toes.
So we had in the Bright Beings Academy, we've had a reflexologist here, and but that's why I say about the hands. And when I go into like Monday, I was in a Alzheimer's and Parkinson's community center, and we're always working on the hands, and I do it in the classes as well sometimes, is to make sure that you've got every connection with your brain to your fingers, and you can feel the tingling when you shake your fingers out, and you can make sure you feel the tingling so you can feel the energy coming down into your hands. Because that have you seen that homunculus, I can't even say it, homunculus man, where they show you where the sensitive parts are of the body, and the hands are enormous. So the hands are like, it's like what the feet are. The hands are connected to every area of your body, so it's all completely holistic. It's all incredible. So what got you into
that? So there's still the same, exactly the same points on your hands as your feet. So a reflexologist can then say, if you'd like to do this at home, there'll be a point on your hand that's the same on your feet.
Yeah. And the go-to point for everybody, it seems like, in traditional Chinese medicine, is this one here, which clears pain and headaches and stuff like that. It's in between the index and the thumb. So what got you into Reiki? You did the Usui method?
So I started going to a spiritualist church when I was much younger. I just lost my brother. He was quite young, and somebody recommended just popping along. Initially, I said, oh, no, it's not my thing. But as soon as I went in there, I was so relaxed, so relaxed. I thought, I want to do this. And that's what got me into the energies that were around at the time there. I thought, wow, I mean, it was just amazing. You just relaxed as soon as you walked in. Whatever was taken in with you was left behind you at the door. That was it for me. I thought, how could this possibly happen, really? But and then I went there so many times. The ladies just said, this is it for you. You need to do this. I can feel the energy, because every time I'm healing you, I'm getting such a heal back that you're so able to do this. I can feel it in your hands and everything. So I was like, oh, okay. I was busy with another business at the time, but I set aside weekends, and I learned over weekends for about a year, and I loved it. And I was very still skeptical at the beginning, until people were saying, oh, I can feel that, or I can feel this, you know, something's moving. You think, oh, is it? Oh, great. You know, oh, it's working. But you over time, you realize that the energy's there, you're attuned, and it's going to work through you, and it's going to work. And you just want to help everybody. It's just what we want to do.
Yeah, I know you want to reach out and try and help everybody, but many people. The thing is with Reiki, and especially with Ki Gong as well, people block it. They block it because they're so skeptical in their minds. The way we've been conditioned as a society, I feel, to bridge this gap between what we really are and what we think we are, is it can be quite tricky to get people to actually see what we are, which is energy. And I remember going through with the Ki Gong, and I remember the very first time when I suddenly realized this is all I have to do right now in this moment is just move in this soft manner, but not have my body all floppy and relaxed, but not be tense, but just being in that relaxed state. And that is the best state your body can be in for actual relaxation, not flopped in front of the TV, as actually moving softly or sitting down in a soft manner, but not like that, which is what we tend to do when we think we're relaxing, is just slump in the chair, and it's or on the sofa, or even go to bed and slump in the bed. You have to keep your energy flowing around your body, and it's so important. I think Reiki is amazing, and I remember many people who came into the Ki Gong practice when I was learning it loved the Jigam that we do. Jigam means energy meditation, and you first start to feel like the spongy ball between your hands, and you go. And when I started my practice in Egham, Sylvia was there in Egham. And one of the first things I did was first met the council to see if I was see if I was going to be see if I was going to be suitable for their gym to teach Ki Gong in their gym. And what happened was I started talking about the chakra system, the meridian system, how energy comes before matter. And while I was talking, I'm thinking, oh, I completely planned this interview. I don't know how I got into this subject. And when I'd finished talking, I went, wow, that's amazing. When could you start? I thought, okay, so I started, and I thought, well, there's not going to be many people coming. And sure enough, there was a hardcore, about 5 or 6 kept coming. And then it went to 10. And we had this horrible little room with this noise coming in halfway through with some sort of, I don't know what it was, some sort of jump class or Zumba class or whatever it was in the gym next door. And it was only a wooden door. So we're sitting there trying to do this gentle Qigong meditation and lying on the floor with this. Anyway, we persevered, and the gym put us into a brand new room. And it was packed. It started to become packed. There was like 20, 25 people turning up every week. And they were loving it. And they started to mess about then with me as an instructor, trying to tell me what I had to do with the classes and things like that. And that's when it all went wrong. But it's when the point really was, when people get that energy feeling, many people in Egham who had no idea what I was talking about and no idea what energy was and mind-body connection was, until they started getting into the Qigong. And after about 2 or 3 weeks, people would come up to me and go, wow, I didn't realize what you're saying is true. And you go, yes. So it's really getting it through to the masses of people when we get this, that we're an energy field. And when energy fields work in collaboration, that's how the power happens from the energy field. And because we're so polarized today in the world with politics and religions and even work, how much money you're earning, how little money you're working, everything is polarizing. What you eat, what you don't eat, what's this, what's that. It's really difficult to get that across to people that we are energy. And I think on a holistic healing program, like anything that you can do is really helpful for your body. So I think it's amazing what you've done, is that you've had this experience. How does your daughter rate your sanity?
Ooh. I'm always so stay there, darling. I'm just going to give you open your mouth. And she's honestly, she's been doing it since she was a child. So she said all sorts of oils where I would think I've tasted these oils and going, oh, that's revolting. But she just takes it and goes, okay. She's so good about it all. But she knows that mummy will have an answer. So if something's wrong, mummy knows. And she says, mummy, I've got a tummy ache. I'm thinking, okay, what is it? What have you eaten? Is it, it could be bloated, it could be she's changing a bit. So I ask her a few questions, and off she goes, and she gets given a few things, and within an hour she's right as rain. So she knows that mummy knows. She doesn't go bragging about it at school. I think she says they might think you're a bit weird because most people go to the doctors, and so she hardly ever goes. So she knows it's all a bit sometimes. I don't know, maybe she thinks I'm quite sure what she thinks actually, but she knows I help people, and she's really quite proud of me in that respect.
That's a wonderful thing to do, is to and help people. But it is how I grew up was the same. Is if there was something wrong with you, first I would be asked a load of questions, either by elder brothers or my mother or father, and then okay, what you've been doing, what's up with you, what happened, what have you eaten, blah 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 blah. and nail it down. And it might have been as simple as not eating enough that day, or not drunk enough water, or something like that. Now it seems to be people get shipped off to the doctors, and they seem to be wanting to push as many medications down your throat as they possibly can, which I think is always about treating the symptom and not actually what's causing it. Because when you think about the body, it's self-regulating and self-healing if you give it the right tools to do that. If you're not giving it the right tools, which is what you were saying earlier, which I think is so important about those 12 salts, it won't work properly. And we need to be doing that. So it's focusing the mind and the body, because when you look at how the body is actually working with the vagus nerve, people would think, well, the brain will be telling the gut what to do. Actually, it's the other way around. The gut is telling what's happening up the brain. 95% of the information comes up to the brain from the gut. So when you got this food, there was scientists who researched someone who ate a healthy bowl of vegetables, I think it was, and one of those the pot noodle type thing where you just put boiling water on it, and they showed the food going through the gut, and what happened with that pot noodle, I don't even want to describe it because it was so disgusting what was going on in the gut. And I was speaking with somebody in America today, and they said she was watching them buy food from a supermarket, and she said there was not one piece of food on those. There was 8 bits of what do you call them? I don't know what you call it. It's like rubbish. 8 pieces of rubbish cost, I think, $65 it cost for this rubbish, and there was not one piece of nutrition in it.
No, I have. Well, you experience that all the time in the supermarket when I'm in a queue, and I think there's not one bit of food. I mean, real food. I think there's things that look like food, but it's not food.
No.
And I think people need to go back to basics. It doesn't take more time to make a casserole. I mean, everything to me with making a casserole now goes in the, oh God, my brain's gone. There used to be a pressure cooker in my mum's day. She used to put everything in a pressure cooker, go to work, come home, and you'd have an amazing meal. And the slow cooker, I mean, loads of things go in my slow cooker because you don't always have the time to cook. You go to work, and you don't have the time. But if all the goodness of the food goes into making that beautiful casserole for the day, or whatever dish it is, I'm not saying there's no excuse, but you don't then have to turn to the ready meals or the microwave meals, because it's not food. It's like you said earlier, it's lost so much nutrition that's not any longer going to help you and help your body. And you might have got away with it in your 20s, but as you age, you need all those salts back in, you need the nutrition, you need the minerals, because it stops working. Everything will stop working properly, and that's what you don't want to get, is things stopping.
It's awful when that kind of thing happens. What if you would give us someone one takeaway from this conversation? What would, I know it's a big question.
It is a big question. Do you know why? Because I was watching a really interesting program on Netflix last night, and this guy had gone around, if you catch it, I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but it's a little series. And this guy who used to be a cyclist in the 70s, he's gone around, I think, 12 or 13 different countries of the world, finding the places where people live to over 100. These spots in the world, and he's delving into their diets and how they are. Do you know what it's? Somebody know what it's called?
No, I don't know what that was.
No, just watched it. Yeah.
Oh, did you? Yeah. So really, there's no one thing, is there? There's no one thing, but they all let food, proper food, real food, things that were out of the garden. They were fresh. They were cooking their vegetables, but every country has their own, if you like, mainstay of food. Like one, I think Japan or China was the purple potato. Is that right, Sylvia? Was purple potato? So that was their like their blueberries has so many antioxidants in, but they lived a very healthy life. They exercised all the time. And ate really good foods. It was the odd glass of red wine, not a problem. I think it's just going back to basics and knowing that, you know, go back to the roots of vegetables and food, really. And that's all I say. I'm not into diets. I agree a point to fasting, because I think we eat far too much and we eat constantly too much food, constantly. So you're not giving your body enough time to digest, rest, and recover. So diets don't sit well with me, because I think you'd lose too much nutrition and of certain foods by dieting, because you still need your fats, because your brain doesn't work well without fats, and that is a fact. So cutting out all these things start to go wrong. But it's eating the good stuff, or knowing what's the difference between the good stuff and the bad stuff, because no matter what comes out next, you know, the new style of eating or this something, I think everybody should just go back to basics. And I think that is what I found works best for most people to get them fit and healthy again, is to go back to your roots of vegetables, and the percentage of meat should be small and the percentage of potatoes should be small, but your veg should be mostly all over your plate.
Well, they say meat eating, if you're going to eat it, it should be a fist, about the size of a fist. A month or a week, even, some people say, you know. So it's really, you got to listen to your body. I've always say listen to your body. So whatever you choose to eat, you really have to listen to your body to see what works for you. I remember when we bought the I got into that Fit for Life, which was certain times to eat certain foods, like fresh fruits first thing in the morning, and then having a light breakfast, and then we get heavier through the day. But sometimes we eat a heavy breakfast and then eat light for the rest of the day. Then we don't eat for 16 hours. Try and concentrate that into 8 hours. So it's like intermittent fasting. And it helps, because you're not continually because today's world is so stressful, and we're burning up energy in our brain, because all the energy is coming up to the head, because there's so much information in the head. So we're burning up in energy all the time, and we're not preserving it very well, and we're not getting it back in either through breathing, because our breathing is getting more shallow, or from the nutrients we're putting into our body. So everything's getting burnt up. This is why so many people are burning out, and they're aging too quickly now, I think, as well. So it's about getting that balance, I think, is wonderful. So thank you for sharing your wisdom tonight. And how can people get hold of you if they want to get hold of you?
I have a website, it's acehealing.uk.
acehealing.uk.
That's the one.
And they can get hold of you with all these wonderful
absolutely,
and things like that. So
I'm not all for jargon. I'm always straight to the point. So any questions, and honestly, I will always help, and I will research. If I do not know, I will always get back to you with more information.
That's wonderful. Yeah. And you're thinking about a veggie pod.
I am. I love growing my own vegetables. There's nothing better than eating your own vegetables that you've grown, knowing that there's no pesticides on, there's nothing else in the ground. Oh, it's fantastic. It's just lovely. My daughter loves runner beans, so every time I grow runner beans every year, she's like, "Oh, these out of the garden." Yeah.
We found with our salads, when we first started growing with our salads, we didn't have to eat so much salad to get that same kick out of it. It was filling, because the nutrients in it, because your stomach is saying, "No, hang on a minute, I've got enough to deal with here. Don't give me any more," which is kind of how the stomach works. And we found it very filling and very rewarding. Yeah. But because of the slug attacks, we get very frustrated with it. And now we've lost our poor little cat, who used to parade around the vegetables and the berries in particular, the squirrels and the berries and the squirrels and the small birds are now eating lots of the blueberries that we grow. So we're having to find ways around this now, because the other cat is too old to do anything. He's just opens one eye and goes at a bird and goes back to sleep. So so it's difficult with the pests, but it's worth persevering with them, because when you do get some good produce out of the garden, there's nothing like just picking a tomato and putting it straight into salad, because it
tastes completely different. This year I planted rocket, thinking, oh, how easy is it? Are the slugs going to eat it too quickly before it comes back up again? And it grew like crazy. It's the best easiest thing you can ever grow.
Yeah,
and it tastes amazing.
We put six leaves in a salad on Saturday. And it just shone out. The salad. It was such a beautiful peppery taste. Okay, thank you very much. I'm gonna stop this recording now, and we can take questions from the floor. I'm sure people have got the questions. So thank you very much for watching on YouTube.